Hello there, dear friends, and welcome once again to the Relaxed Fantasy Review. Today, we're going to be talking about spellcasting. Specifically, we're going to be talking about Paladin spellcasting. Paladins are easily one of the most powerful classes, if not the most powerful class in the game. They get all the powers of the martial classes: heavy armor, martial weapons, a really nice hit die of a d10. They're a powerful class just based on that alone, but then they get magic on top of that. They're only half casters, so they don't get cantrips, and they only get spells up to level 5, but magic has its place in the game as the ultimate buff, and adding magic to paladins really helps them shine. But when they get their spells at level 2, they have to choose what first level spells are they going to take. Let's have a look at my personal top 5 paladin spells. Starting off at number 5, we have Divine Favor. This is a self-only spell. You cast it as a bonus action, which is always good, and you concentrate on it for 1 minute. During that minute, any attacks you make deal an extra 1d4 damage. This is kind of similar to the Hex Hunter's Mark thing, except that it's just you, and it's all attacks you make against any target, but it only lasts for a minute, which is actually why I put it down here at number 5. It's a nice effect, and the 1d4 certainly is nothing to sneeze at. That's a few extra points of damage. With extra attack and other things like that, it can nicely stack, but it only lasts for a minute, so it's one combat only. Then you compare that to number 4, which is Searing Smite. Searing Smite, paladins have a lot of smite spells. It's just the same kind of thing. Bonus action, concentration for a minute. But with the smite spells, it's just the next time you hit, as opposed to every hit. But with Searing Smite, it has extra effects. You hit, it does an extra 1d6 fire damage. Then the creature has to make a Constitution saving throw because it becomes ignited in fire. So basically, you set someone on fire, and every turn they have to succeed on the saving throw, or they take more fire damage, 1d6 every turn. They can, of course, douse the flames, but it takes an action to do so. So either they're taking the extra damage, or they're wasting their turn getting rid of it. It's a nice spell to rob an enemy of their turn, but it still doesn't do that much extra damage, and it only does it that one hit, plus the burning effect afterwards. Compare that to number 3 on the list, Thunderous Smite, arguably the best first level smite. Bonus action to cast, concentration for a minute. The next time you hit, you do an extra 2d6 thunder damage with your hit. The shockwave can be heard for 300 feet, but that's just a sound. So it's impossible to be stealthy while you're doing this. But also, it makes the target make a strength save. If they fail it, they get pushed 10 feet away from the paladin and get knocked prone. So it's the shove action, both the distance and the proneness, plus the extra 2d6 thunder damage. Not a bad effect, really. I will say this, though, moving forward. The next 2 spells are not smites. They're just really good spells. And Divine Smite is a second level paladin ability anyway, where when you hit someone, you can expend a spell slot to do 2d8 extra radiant damage. And Divine Smite is typically the better choice than the smite spells, unless you really need that extra effect, the burning or the pushing. And that's because it does more damage, and you only have to spend the spell slot if you hit, whereas the other smite spells, you have to spend the spell slot and then concentrate on it, meaning if you miss your attack, there's always a chance you drop concentration, and that means it's not going to work. Plus, there's a better use for your concentration. We'll get to that in a sec. At number 2, we have Command. Command is a simple spell. You command a creature with a 1-word command. They make a wisdom save, and if they fail it, they have to perform that command on their next turn. First of all, that's cool. The command can't be directly harmful to them, so you can't tell them to stab themselves. You could tell them to hurt their allies. You could tell them to run away, drop what they're holding, as long as you can do it in a single word. It's a save or suck spell, because if you succeed on the wisdom save, nothing happens and the spell slot is wasted. But it's still a really good spell. Beaten out only by number 1. Number 1 is Bless. Bless is a great buff for the entire party, not just for the Paladin. You cast Bless, and you concentrate on it for the minute. So, once again, this is competing for concentration, which is why I would say I would rather use this than the first 3 spells on the list, but I digress. Bless, you bless 3 creatures, that can include yourself, with the magic of the spell, and for the rest of the minute, as long as you concentrate, they get an extra d4 on all attack rolls. And that is really, really powerful. Not only is it you, as the Paladin, getting this extra buff, so you're going to hit more often, and then you can use your Divine Smite if you want to, but it's also your allies. It's the Ranger, the Fighter, the Bard, the Rogue, all of these characters that really could use that extra little oomph. And the Bless spell is by far the best Paladin pick for first level. You throw this down at the beginning of combat, and you and your party are going to feel the difference. It's great. This has been the Relaxed Fantasy Review. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe down below, and keep your eyes peeled for more Magic reviews coming down the line soon. Have a good one, my friends.